With me via telephone, all the way from Muncie, New York. This is an interview that has been years in the making. Practically 3 albums since his first album was number 2. Please welcome to the show the one and only Shmueli Ungar.
Shalom Aleichem, Yossi, Reb Yossel, how are you?
Was
so
macht
exciting to be here.
Baruch Hashem.
Shalom Mebruch, all the JE Network listeners. It's a great honor for me to be here today on the show with you.
Well, I think it's more our honor than you. You know, we've been playing and listening to your music for so long now that we've just been building up this anticipation of trying to get the famed Shmueli Ungar, you know, that big Hasidic superstar that has this big sign on the billboard in Eretz Yisrael that's handing out Bruchas cards in stores. I see styrofoam cups, Macha Bruch. I was like, wow, we need to get Shmueli on the phone. We got to discuss all this. What's going on?
Ask away, my friend. Ask away. So many vibrant thoughts and feelings and expressions. And you said it was hard. It was hard for me to get to be on the show. In Yiddish, you say "Agita zach kimt schwer." You know, it kimt schwer. But you were persistent, and Baruch Hashem, we're here, and you know, very excited.
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, I am enjoying immensely the new album. I said to my listeners 2 weeks ago, I had to drive from Lakewood to Brooklyn for a gig. Yes, I do gigs too. I don't sing, but I do MC gigs. I had 2 CDs in the car. I had your Macha Brucha CD and Shlomi Cohn's new CD. And just from those 2, I didn't need no radio. I didn't need to reach for my iPod. I didn't have to turn my stream on. Just those 2 CDs straight for 3 hours. And I'm talking about not skipping any songs, Baruch Hashem.
Mamish, it gives me great pleasure to hear you.
So, Shmueli, how do you go? Question 1 that I have for you is these unique titles. First off, your first album you called 2, and your second album you called Macha Brucha. What? You know, when you sit down with Naftula Moshe and Shirley Meyer and the Ganze Schnitzler team, like, how do you come up to these unique titles for these albums?
I'll give you Shmueli too, but Macha Brucha is not so interesting. It's not your everyday name for a CD. But Shmueli too, it's basically it's what we want is hack. We want to create buzz. We want it to cut through. You know, people these days we have smartphones. There's so many forms of entertainment, YouTube and this WhatsApp status now. And you got Snapchat and Instagram and Insta Story. You know, you have 30 seconds that you can get a person's attention. If you didn't caught his attention in the first 30 seconds, you lost him.
Right.
So if you create a massive, with a big billboard, people look at it, and you're in people's thoughts and in the people's discussion about the water cooler. It's easier for us to make our point and, you know, to push sales and, you know, everything, the whole situation. Macha Brucha, I got to give it to Shmueli Meyer. He was the one who said it needs to be Macha Brucha. He heard the song, and, you know, we were going over the song list and what songs we're putting on the album and what songs we're just going back and forth. And he says, Macha Brucha, wow, that's a title track right there. And we were like, nah. You know, people are going to think it's like a kid's album. It's like Uncle Moishi.
Right.
And he kept on saying, guys, it's time to step out of the small guy's shoes and step in, you know, take the big footsteps, he said. So we went with it was his idea, and Baruch Hashem, people are really connecting to the message, you know, to make a bracha, to be blessed and, you know, surround yourselves with blessings.
I know. For me, it was, you know, when you hear Macha Brucha, you think it's just in the original context. That just means as far as eating, you know. But then you look at the lyrics. The lyrics are so much more.
Exactly.
You know, every day to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu and thank Him for what you have. I mean, when people get new suits or new clothing or whatnot, you're making a shechioni. It's not just on food. You're making brachas all the time. Right.
Yes. In the beginning, I had a little bit of a problem connecting to the message because by me also, Macha Brucha is come in, have a piece of cake, sit down for a coffee.
Right.
That's Macha Brucha, but it's so much more. And you know, you know, it's catching on. But yes, it's in the message. Of course.
Now, it says it's composed by Heshi Weinberger, who we know is one of Naftula's guys. And I got to tell you, this guy is really popped up on my radar really fast between you and some other songs that he's composed in the last few years. It seems he has something that nobody else has. You know, everyone used to talk about, who was it? Yitzi Waldner years ago. You know, you have to go to Yitzi Waldner and get a song. You need an album with a Yitzi Waldner song. I think as much as Yitzi's still on top of his game, it's now you have to get a Heshi Weinberger song.
It's very flattering that people think that way, but yeah, a Hershey Weinberger is a special young gift with the Bashefer and Terugeschikt of the Welt.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to give credit for Naftali for even looking at it. You know how difficult it is to get Naftali's attention, or anybody in this business who's worth his salt to get his attention. So it's kudos to Naftali to picking him up and, building him for what he is. But Yossi Waldner is also very good. And Meshulam Grimberger and Yossi Green and Pinky Weber. There are so many big composers out there.
100%.
But yeah, I think Hershey definitely made a name for himself.
Yeah, Shmueli. I was going to ask you, did Hershey write the lyrics too, or just the niggin?
The lyrics, you mean, no, that's in Tillam.
No. I mean the way it flows, when you go Lahad Lik Ner Shel, Ner Chaniko,
yeah, he came up with...
Because the way it fits the tune and the twisting of it is very, very, very different,
It's all his. Yeah, it's all basically his. It's all his. When it goes from B'chol Yom V'Yom there's a little bridge. That part.
Yeah.
Was originally. I think I'm screaming. I hope I'm not the kid.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We had a tough time, connecting from B'chol Yom V'Cheka to Macha Brocha. At first, we were sitting there and we said maybe Baruch, Ato, Hashem, Elokeinu, Melech, Oila, Macha Brocha. But it didn't have that flow. So Heshi came up with it. It was just so gegossen, it was mamish gegossen for this. And then, towards the end, do you remember Lipa had a song? Not, of course you remember. You remember everything. I listened to your interviews, Yossi. You got a phenomenal Zakuden.
Are you talking about where he makes a bruch under the kippah?
He says a lot of organizations.
Yeah, it's Tiskel Mitzvahs, right. Tiskel Mitzvahs. Can I know her album?
So I always love that, that combo he did with all the organizations.
Right.
So I told Hershey and Naftali, it's about bruchas. Let's make like some collage of bruchas. So Hershey recently told me I was the one who actually wrote up a lot of bruchas.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it in to him, and he created some kind of rhythm. And this is how it got together.
For me, I think that's actually my favorite part of the song. Don't get me wrong. I like the Shekhi Vikimuni. I like the Shekhi Shuni, but it just flows and it's melodic. Your voice is pleasant to listen to. Just reading off bruchas.
Baruch Hashem. We're so blessed, Yossi. We're very blessed. Very blessed.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone. We're talking about his brand new album, Macha Bracha, which is taking the world by storm. Shmueli, I have to welcome you back to the States. You just spent like a whirlwind week in Eretz Yisrael, from what I understood.
Yes, I was there for the weekend. You follow everything. I was there with Shulam Vakshal. He's the producer in Israel, and he reached out. He said that we got to come. There's such a big massive in Israel. With the sales and the songs, the people going crazy. I must come over there and be on the radio and even on the TV. Menachem Tucker has some kind of TV thing.
That's right. He has a show on television.
Shishi, Tucker Bashishi, so that was very cool. I was never on TV before. So, and then we did the radio. We did the whole massive, the whole buzz. We were going to do stuff on Sunday as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Rav Auerbach passed away.
That's right.
And the things we planned, they were supposed to take place in Yerushalayim, so yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. But Baruch Da'anu Emes, another brucha, unfortunately, we can say.
Yeah, Shmueli. I wanted to, so I saw Menachem Tucker and of course Shon Vakshal were going around in the streets with cups that said Macha Brucha. Were they giving people mashka to drink? What was going on over there?
There was mashka too. There was mashka. There is Coca-Cola. There is what's the famous drink in Israel? Schlepschuit. I don't know. It's a long word.
So they were just walking around the street and having people make bruchas on camera. That was going on.
No. We had like a mini bus. There was a bruchas mini bus. They called it. It had a big sign of the Shmili Macha Brucha with me pointing the finger, and with also a big siyata d'shmaya. That picture that it happened. Anyway, so we had the mini bus. Menachem Tucker came on the bus. We had speakers on top of the bus. You can't do this in New York, People are going to think you're crazy. But in Israel, you get away with everything.
Uh-huh.
So we had a mini bus, and Menachem Tucker was there broadcasting. Maybe you'll know how to do it, but he had the show in the bus, and he aired from the bus. And people, we were in Benai Barak on Thursday. We were going to do it Sunday in Yerushalayim, and it got canceled. But Thursday we did it in Benai Barak. And people listening to the show, and on the bus, he told them, we're going to be at the Zichra Moshe in 5 minutes. We're going to be there. They speak Hebrew. I speak a bad Hebrew, so it was kind of not boring, but it was a little bit annoying not to be able to part. I just let Menachem Tucker do his thing, and I just smiled along, and he gave me the microphone, say something, and I said, blah, 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 Anyway, but it was a big master.
I know the feeling, but Menachem's a great guy, and he always tries to translate in English to people who are around him, so you always feel like you're part of it, and that sounds like amazing. I guess we got to do something like
absolutely.
That in the United States, too. Let's call up Mayim Chaim. Let's do a Shmueli Ungar Mayim Chaim tour in Williamsburg.
Exactly, something like that.
So working our way down the album, I got this dynamic, exciting electronic Machabrucha track in my ear, and then my CD changes to track 2, and I'm on a beach. I'm listening to the birds. I hear this little guitar, and it's such an amazing, refreshing song that's very bare with the arrangements. But I guess that's what makes it so attractive to people.
Yeah, the second spot on the album is it's a unique spot, because everybody knows you're going to open up an album, you got to open it with something cool, something different, something that pops and something that will get people dancing and moving. You want to start. So everybody, that's a given. Track 1 is going to be something special. And then track 2, you never know, where do you go? You want to go to something hearty, you want to change the contrast, you want to go, you don't know what to do. Adon Olam, I think it was a perfect spot for it because it's not a slow song, it's not a fast song, it's just something that's going to be easy on the ear after you hear Machabrucha and going to track 3. It's a small track. It's less than 3 minutes, in and out, a ukulele, a very simple arrangement. A great song by Rottenberg, Hershey Rottenberg from Antwerp, from the Tenila guy.
I got to tell you, really nice, and I got to give Naftula kudos. The arrangement of keeping it simple, and just, laid back. It's a refreshing change after the first track, but it's still refreshing enough that you want to keep seeing what else the album's going to give you.
I agree. I mamish agree, yes. Baruch Hashem.
Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone. We're talking about his latest hit album, Machabrucha, in stores now, available through Niggin Music, iTunes, Amazon Music. Shmueli is an exciting new singer. I got to tell you, I got to also give it up to Shirley Besser, my good chaver from Montreal. He did an amazing article with you in last week's Mishpacha. I learned a lot, man.
You learned a lot. You read the Mishpacha every week? You read it?
I really don't. I'll tell you honestly on this program, I don't read Mishpacha. My wife might buy it.
I also don't read it.
My wife might buy it 2 or 3 times a year, or if I'm by somebody for Yontiv, they might have it. I don't buy it, but once we confirmed that you were coming to the show, I WhatsApped Surly. I said, Surly, I need the article. So he sent me the PDF, Baruch Hashem, a few days ago, and I read it. I knew a little bit. I knew you coming from as your Yosem, that you lost your father at a young age. I did know about your being divorced. I didn't know how long you were married or anything. But, just learning more about you. Like Surly Meyer said on Facebook a few weeks ago, that singers are people too.
Yeah.
I think it was it was an important lesson. Nobody's saying that we have to make singers like Avodah Zura, like in the Goyim, you need a TMZ to know what everybody's doing when he's going here, when he's going there. But, to know a little bit more about the people that are putting you in a different mood. When people are in a bad or good mood, they're going to listen to music. They should at least connect more to the person as an individual rather than just a voice on an album.
Absolutely. Well said. Very well said, Yossi.
So I read in this article you say that Litvish are more freilach at weddings, but Hasidic are better with a beat. What does that mean, Shmueli?
Out of the whole article is what he asked. All right, I'll tell you. Not to chas v'shulam bash anyone, or I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. I'm just going to try to put it, from my perspective. I don't speak the best English, but I'll try. Kick ahead. By the Litvish people, the wedding starts by the chuppah. That's the highlight of the wedding. You come in, you have everybody seated. They have usually a nice band. And, they tell the people to silence their cell phones. And the ceremony begins. And the girls are walking down and throwing down the flowers. And each one has a different song and different pictures. It's really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then once the chuppah is done, you start the meal. which is, it's very nice. They have sometimes requests, and then they come into the dancing, and usually it's a split meal. You finish the dancing, you go to the second dance, and then the wedding is over.
Right.
So the highlight of the wedding is the chuppah, and then it slows down towards the end. By the Hasidim, it's the opposite. By the Hasidim, the chuppah is, you go to the chuppah, you think, it's really beautiful and heartig. Don't misunderstand.
Shmueli, or Abba Buvis, right?
Abba Buvis, yeah. Very heartig, Lubavitcher stuff. But, it's outside usually. It's cold, or people are pushing themselves, and people are talking. It's different. And then it's the meal. People want to see who's going to be singing, and people, enjoy their food, and they look at the singer and the band. Then comes the dancing, and then the high part is the second dance. All the Bucharam are there, and they give it all they got. They introduce the pyramid move now, and Udir comes in, or anybody with the making fun and making Allah Samachaya, and then comes the mitzvah town. So it's quite the opposite. By the Hasidim, it starts slow and ends off on a high.
Right.
And by the Litvish, it starts off on a high and it ends off. That's just besides the point. But I was saying, by the Litvaks, they're more lebedik. They're more in the moment. They enjoy the music and they dance, and they enjoy the rabbayim and the chusin and the friends. By the Hasidim, it's a lot about the latest hits and what is he going to sing now, what is he going to sing next, and everything has to be to perfection. And people are in front of the stage with their smartphones and the cameras taking video and sending around on the group. So
going around the Telegram channels. Yeah.
Don't forget what you want to say about the Telegram channel. What I did say on the interview is that by the Hasidim, they have good rhythm. And by the Litvisher, they just dance with the hands in the air, and they don't have such good rhythm at the Hasidim. That's what I said.
This wasn't the only thing. Yeah, this wasn't the only thing I focused on. This was just Thomas Shaila. I didn't want to get too deep into Shmueli and what made you. A lot of it's not the happiest memories, so I didn't want to get too deep with you. It is Erev Purim, right? But for me, this was cute. And it's funny you're saying that, Shmueli. I spoke to a couple of Israeli artists recently, and they kind of the same thing. In Israel, the wedding is the dancing. The chip is a chick-chock to get over with. They say
right.
In America, it's different. In America, you actually have the chuppah. It's, is it Ohad going to sing? Is it this? Is it that? Who's going to
do? Right.
Right. So
it's a big string section and everything, and the horn section.
Yeah. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone, talking about his latest hit album, Macha Bracha, produced by his longtime producer and good friend Naftali Schnitzler. Moving on, V'noimar Umain. Now this is a guy, Barry, who sang Shahakol Ni Bedvurai, which is close to Macha Brucha. And all of a sudden, V'noimar, what's going on, Shmueli?
I forgot from Shahakol Ni Bedvurai. You were talking, I wasn't listening, I was trying to remember. I know Barry has Geizach Vaschen.
Yeah.
But where does he have a Shahakol Ni? Of course he has Shahakol Ni Bedvurai.
Shahakol Ni Bedvurai. Yeah, that's right.
Correct. Yes, so Beatty was in the studio one time, and we were sitting there, and Beatty is very musical. He wrote a few songs for Lipa. He has a song, what's it called, from the Shira Shirim. No, not from Shira Shirim, from Hoidi, you say Friday Night. I forget. He has it on Lipa's album, whatever. He composed for Shimi Engel.
That I know, right. And for himself.
And for himself as well. What did he compose for himself? Yeride,
Lechine Rananu, I think he did.
He wrote himself, yes.
And as a matter of fact, just now before Purim, it seems that he got together with LPR and they composed 3 songs together, just drinking a Bisselvan.
Yeah, you saw that? You saw it?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Michucham ve'yishmar
Oh, that's right.
From Lipa.
Yeah.
That's a Beatty song. So we were sitting in the studio, and we were going over songs. Vidi was also working then on he made a Shabbos Fabreng.
That's right.
And we were looking through the davening for Shabbos, and we came to the benching, and it came to Commotion as Baruch Yaviseinu. And he said, Commotion as Baruch Yaviseinu, Avraham Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, it's like a little tune we do by Shalashi, by the Malava Malka.
Right.
And it was funny, and that's how it got started, and then it went, he said, Betty, Ken Yevorech, Chesanu Kulanu, Yachal Bevrocho. And Asali said it didn't have a flow, so then we added, Ken Yevorech Chesanu, Ken Yevorech Kulanu, Sanu Kulanu. Anyway, so that's how it got. And then I don't remember, I think that's Hershivayim biggest part. He added the Venoimar, oh mine. That's Hershey.
Now, Shmueli, would you consider that part the V'neimar Mein Chazunish or just regular singing?
There is no Chazunas in the Venoimar, oh mine.
V'neimar, and everyone does that. When you do it with the power, it's like, it's funny because when you came out back in the day, people were calling you the Hasidic Daddy. Remember that?
I remember that.
Now, when I hear this song, when I hear your voice in this song, I hear Hasidic Daddy.
Maybe, but there's a part in the middle of the song where we go live. Like there's a live crowd, and I say,
yeah.
As I say, come on, sing along, like something like that, and it gives it a live feel.
And it's funny because when the promo came out, the teaser for your album, this song, all you got was the choir. You didn't get any Shmueli, and I was trying to figure out where's Shmueli in the song. It was funny. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone. One of the songs that I like the most, and then again, my Yiddish is not amazing, and I played it for a chused. Somebody in Shul came over to me yesterday that they have a simplest basis shave, a pinim, whatever. They have a pinim tish, a shikar, whatnot, and they hired a one-man band a few years, and it was too expensive for them. So he sat there last year with about 10 CDs and a CD player, changing them. And somebody told him he should come to me, and I can make him a playlist, and he can do it like that.
Right, of the Leibovitch songs, absolutely.
So he came to me yesterday. We sat for an hour and a half, and I said, by the way, I want to play this new song. I don't know if you heard it. He's like, Shmueli, oh, I love Shmueli. Did you know he came out with a new CD? No, I didn't know. So I played him track 5, Shiel, and his face was lit up.
He speaks Yiddish, I take it.
Yes, he speaks Yiddish. I speak Yiddish too. I can understand the lyrics while you're saying them, meaning, as you're reading the words, I can understand, I'll understand the Yiddish, but to go back and try to remember what it is, I am totally lost.
So where did you grow up? Which yeshiva did you go to?
I grew up in Montreal, but I grew up in I davened in Mesivta, Chassidische Stiebel, Klosenberg. So you pick up a little Yiddish here and there,
I hear you.
So Shil, Shmueli, the song is all about what happens in Shil. Whether it's like a chef, it's a store, whether you're selling stocks, whether you're on the phone. The song's about doing what you're supposed to do in Shil, not doing anything else, right?
Yeah. You skipped the song. You skipped Dayenu, which is a very good song, but we'll get back to that later. The Shil song, track 5, is it's a humorous song. It's about everything that goes on in the shul. Basically, like you said, by the CDs, they have Kaden Shmueli Shaya and the Gemach CDs, till the vending machines that sell bagels and even Tylenol. And it talks about Gezoy the road, how's the road, for whom a vote, who are you voting for? Everything happening in Shil. So it's a very geschmack, humoristic song. People always find themselves smiling at it, and people love it.
It's something very tricky to do because you're technically giving them musar al pi humor.
Kinda, yes, if you will.
I think it works very well. I got to tell you, the words flow so well, and I know more than most people because I spoke to Moti Ilowitz many times. Rhyming Yiddish like this is one of the hardest things to do. Mm-hmm. But you have Velvi Feldman, who's a very well-known Batchen as well as writer and singer. So I got to give Volvi. He did an amazing job. Now, is there a possibility will you ever consider to translate the song or to at least give an English translation to people to understand everything that's going on in the song, or you feel it's going to lose its time?
I haven't really thought about it, but it probably will lose its time, yeah. We can do something similar in English, but not translate this one. We should work on a complete whole new project.
All right, so now we have to call Naftuli Shne, Naftuli Moshe when you hang up with me.
Yes, I'll send them a WhatsApp message.
Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone. So he said we skipped track 4. I was so excited about track 5. I skipped track 4. Track 4 is entitled Dayani. It's going to be an amazing song for you to sing at the Seder. Not only can you sing Vihisha Omda now, you can sing Dayani Ochet.
Dayani too, but I don't know which songs you sing by Dayenu, but we grew up with it.
I grew up the exact same way.
All right, so Dayenu has it's a positive thing we're saying to Hashem Yisborach. We're telling him how great he is, and even if he wouldn't have given us the Barsa Bechira and only taken us out of Mitzrayim, we would be so grateful. And we have like a fun song, Dayenu.
Right.
And Hershey Weinberger, it's his composition, and he had a baby, and he was on the way home from the hospital, and he was just sitting in the car service on the way home, and he was just so full of appreciation to Hashem Yisburach, and he said, wow, he got me married. I have such a great shalom bayis, and now, Baruch Hashem, I'm starting to build my family. He gave me a kid, and he made the song on Dayenu, and it just was so appropriate, and it gives it a whole new vibe. Dayenu is a very Lebedik song, but it has so much depth in the same time. So it close really does it justice.
Yeah, I believe so, and it's definitely a great song to add now to your side. You can do both. You can do the old Dayani for the first few, because this anyways ends up with connecting the end of Dayani to Achas Kama Kama. So you can have the best of both worlds, as they say.
Right. Everybody connects differently. Even in the Megillah, we have the and then there's the Eichel Nigen. Right. And they ask why do they have the Eichu tune in the middle of the Megillah?
Right.
So it says so it's for the Litvische people should have a Simchas Pir, and we do a little bit of that also, So maybe we can sing da and the Litvische will connect differently. They will sing they will connect differently.
A little Pirim Titer from the one and only Shmueli Ungar. Shmueli joining us all the way from Muncie. You're in Muncie, I'm assuming now, right, Shmueli?
Yes, I live in Muncie. I live in Airmont.
Shmueli is joining us from Muncie via telephone, talking about his latest hit album, Mach Abrucha. Now, Kilmestater, this reminds me of like an alte Yiddish niggin. I believe you dedicated this song to your grandfather, right?
No, to my father.
I dedicated
the whole album for my grandfather. Kilmestater I dedicated for my father. I keep on telling people it's a heilige niggin.
It is.
It's not it's really heilige. Like you said, it feels the old feel, maybe from Ko'echtov, the Karlina Ko'echtov.
That's exactly. It's funny you're saying that. I couldn't put my finger on which song it was that it had the feeling of, but you're right, 100%.
It has that vibe, and Hershey says when he composed it, he had that in mind. That's what he was going for. Maybe, bring a new touch to it. And Kilmestater is also, I don't know if you understand the meaning of Kilmestater, but that's also it's like a compliment for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kilmestater b'shaf rechevyon. I don't understand exactly what I'm saying because it's like poetry.
Right.
But together with this tune, it just has that heilige feel, that old feel, Kilmestater.
Now, let me ask you, Shmueli, this song goes very low and then very high. Was this song harder for you to record in the studio than the others, or it's just another song for you?
It was definitely more challenging, yes. It starts, and it starts a little bit low, this part.
Right, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
And I think he wrote the song on an E minor, and I felt like it's too low.
It's too low, yeah.
We gotta kick it up a notch. So then he says, but if we kick it up, the Rishimu Chachmas is going to be very difficult. I told him, we'll work it out, and we'll hit those, I'll come into the studio when I feel my voice is very good, and we'll hit those high notes. And, we have to make it work. But yes, it was more challenging than the others.
Yeah. Good to know, Shmueli Ungar. So, Shmueli, being that you're so popular, and like I said, you're just in Eretz Yisrael, you're traveling more, you're singing more chasanas, is there anything you do specifically to keep your voice and yourself more in shape for being able to do this night after night after night?
Well, I don't do it mamish every night. I sometimes do five nights a week when it's really busy. Mm-hmm. When it's not so busy, I don't sing 5 times. I can sing 3 nights a week, sometimes 2 nights a week, and some weeks I don't work any night.
Wow.
So I found that in the beginning when I started singing, I would take 5 nights whenever I was available. I had no problem. Mm-hmm. But it started becoming way more difficult, and so we upped the price a little bit. And I don't work every night, and that's really, a night that I don't work on my voice, but it gives me time to rest up and have the energy. So when I do have a gig, it's not just another gig. It's gig number 4 of this week. It's something special, for the Mechatuna, for the Chus and Kala. And you can't by the Goyish world. I don't think there's any such kind of job where you come for 5 hours a night and you scream at the top of your lungs. It's a lot of hard work. The big Goyish superstars, or maybe even Avram Fried. Avram is not a chasana singer. You know, he has a lot of shows in Israel.
Right.
It comes Chalamoid. It comes all those times. He goes, he does the show. It's a lot of hard work, but he doesn't work every night, and he doesn't abuse his voice every night. So it's easier to keep up your voice if you only sing, you know. Yeah.
Speaking of Avram Fried and singing at concerts, this past Sukkot you had the honor of singing alongside Mordechai ben David in Eretz Yisrael. What was that like, Shmueli?
It was humbling. It was the second time already, a year prior to this year.
Mm-hmm.
I also did a show, a concert in Israel with Moscow. But like I said before, I love very much doing concerts, you know, and the Israeli people are really incredible people. They just enjoy the moment, and they're into it. They sing along. You know, you don't work hard when you're on a concert in Israel. They work together with you.
Yeah, I got to tell you, my nephew was actually at that concert. He said after the concert, Motcha ran to go to another show, and Shmueli was sitting backstage schmoozing with anybody who wanted to schmooze. It was just like everybody's meeting a long-lost friend.
Maybe, but the challenging part for me is, like I said before, is the Hebrew part.
Yeah.
I got to learn. There's an app. I downloaded the app called Mango. My friend Hamri Ivanov told me there's an app called Mango.
Okay.
And you can learn to speak different languages. But I know much better than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, I would know only Ani Rotel Azmin Ala Bama. That's all I know. You know, that's all I could practice.
Trust
but
me.
Yeah. What are you going to say? You trust me, that?
I have the same problem.
You don't speak Hebrew?
Nah, very, very bad. I was there a few years ago by Menachem, and I went to Galei Yisrael, a couple other stations. Even with guys like Yishai Lapidot, you know, they're limited with their English. They all want to speak. Who was it? I met with Shua Fried when I was there 3 years ago. With Shua Fried,
he also does, yes.
I was Shua Fried. I had half Hebrew, half Yiddish.
Yeah, Ruby Barnett. They all only speak Hebrew, and it sounds like it's so much fun. You know, they're talking with such neshama and such passion. They're so passionate about it, and it's so hard to keep up with the 100%.
There's a lot of enthusiasm, and it just comes out in rapid fire. You don't know what to do.
Yep.
And you get every second or third word, and you think you know, but you don't know.
Yes. So I'm just sitting back there with a migraine, trying to keep up with the conversation. I'm sweating, and I just, all right, so he just said this. Oh, so he's referring to that, and, just trying to keep up with the game.
Yeah. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone, talking about his latest album, smash album, entitled Macha Brucha, which we hope everybody will do later tonight. I mean, you can make brachas by Mincha Marav, but more importantly on Megillah, and definitely on food later. And tomorrow, a whole day, anytime open the Shachmonis, Macha Brucha.
That's right.
Shmueli, track 7, somebody told me this was Shirley Meyer's favorite track on the album.
Track 7 is Amcha
Yisrael. Someone told me this is Shirley's favorite track.
Maybe it is. I don't think so. I think Macha Brucha is his favorite track, but maybe I might be wrong. I never heard him talk about Amcha Yisrael. Maybe I'm
when
forgetting.
I got the album, when the album came out, he's like, "Do me a favor, play track 7 first." That's what he said. I'm telling you. He goes, "I'm telling you, play Amcha Yisrael." So Amcha Yisrael, this is a lebedik. This is like when you see the Rebbe's Tish and the Rebbe's Chasna, and you see the Chassidim dancing at the Chasna, these thousands of Chassidim. This is what you imagine, Amcha Yisrael.
Yeah, it's a big message. It's Mika Amcha Yisrael. Naftali wrote the song, and he did the whole production and the music and everything. And I wanted originally a song of Mika Amcha Yisrael. I went to Yossi Green. And we sat with him, and he made a song, Hamnet Film. Hamnet Film, in the Bashefet film, It says Mika Amcha Yisrael.
Right.
So he wrote a very nice song. I had other reservations. I wanted to do a little bit different. Lamasa, it didn't work out. I think he's putting it on his Yiddish Nachas album.
It's possible.
He's going to be putting this song.
Right.
Yes. But still, I still told Naftali, I still want Mika Amcha Yisrael. I think it's a great message, and, maybe we can do something. We should write something about it. And Naftali is a songwriter himself. He wrote Emes Ve'Minukol Zois on my latest album, Emes, the popular song.
Right.
So we sat down, and he started going this and doing that, and until we came up with the concept, Shulam Bakshal, actually from Israel. He said it should go B'derech Shala et Shiva. I should ask,
who is like
you, Rebbeinu Shalom, Mika Moichu, and the people answer, Ein Kamoicha, there's nobody like you. And the high part is like the Hashem answers back to Mika Amcha Yisrael. I know there's nobody like me, but There's nobody like my Jewish nation, the Yiddish Kinder, Mikam Chistru.
I got to tell you, the energy that this song has, it's like you can envision it. The first time you hear it, you can envision it being sung at weddings everywhere. It has nothing to do with Chassan Mikala. It just has to do with us as a people, which is a great time to celebrate.
That's right. We should be proud as a nation, proud as a people. Yes.
So that is track 7. Track 8, Shlach. I happen to love this song. This song made it on our top 9 at 9 a few weeks ago. By the way, your Macha Brucha has been number 3 for like the last 4 weeks. Shlach came in at number 7 2 weeks ago. And what I'm getting from people, besides it being a beautiful song, is the contrast of your voice and Pinky's voice is so beautiful together.
Yeah. It's Tamu, you mean? I sing
right.
together with Pinky, yes. Shalach is also a Pinky Weber song, but he doesn't appear on that song.
That's right.
It's like with the Chazunas. But the Tamu Nafshi you mentioned, yes, I'm getting a lot of feedback on that song. Pinky comes in, he does his, he kind of sings and Chazunas together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole arrangement is different than usual. It's not your loud for typical with the string. There's a saxophone, you know, that was begleitet throughout the first part of the song. It's not your usual ballad.
It's not, and it's not something you'd expect somebody like a Hasidic composer Pinky to arrange either. You know, you'd probably expect something more toned down. But going back a minute to Shlach, I love, you know, for me, you know, when it's like a nod to Mordechai ben David almost when you do the Shlach Shelach Al Yedei Malach. You know what I'm saying? I get the chills of like a Mordechai ben David, like a Mashiach, you know, album jive with it. I don't know. Something about it.
I hear.
You know what I'm talking about or not?
I hear what you're saying, but I never thought about it in that way.
Okay, well, after we're done, after you voice non after Lamosh, I guess, listen to the song again. See if I know what I'm talking about.
And probably he will know.
Oh, there we go. Shmueli,
Yossi, how old do you think I am?
You're much younger than me. I don't know. You're probably in your late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I am. I'm 27, but people think I'm in my mid-30s. I don't know. I guess I have that mature feel, but I actually
people think I'm in my mid-40s. Yeah, I have the same problem. But for me, it's because of my white hair and bald head, yes. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone. We're just wrapping up an amazing interview about his latest album, Mach Abrocha, track 10, Torah, Shmueli. Who is Yoni Lipschitz? The name sounds very familiar to me. He's the composer of the song.
Yes, he's the composer himself. He's an individual, lives in Williamsburg. He's doing very well for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you remember you called me once for Shayura Pinchas. There's this Mr. Pinchas. He makes songs and he makes albums.
That's right.
He wants to start like Shlomi Derechnet. He wants to start like something like that. He has his own songs.
Interesting, yeah.
And he wants to work on an album, so he's always around in the studio, always brainstorming and trying to to sing his songs. Maybe he's going to give out an album and it's going to take various singers like Shira Pinchas is doing. Maybe he'll sing some songs himself.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is he's always around in the studio. And he came over to me once and he told me, I have this song. Maybe you might like it. It has Yiddish words to it. And obviously, I think it's amazing, but, he wrote the song, so I can't take his word for it. I would have to listen to it for myself. And he sent me the song. I had to listen to it, and I loved it right away. There was missing the third part.
Right.
That part we added on later, but even the song, they call Hayom Misichusi. It was such a vada matania for me, and I asked him if he would let me take this for my own album, and he was masking right away. He said yes, absolutely, take it, and he was so proud. And I sang this song. There was the Shastaton together with Help God was there.
That's right. Band. I had some family members in Canada that were watching. It was like a week and a half ago. Yeah.
Yes. Last week, so we did this song, and just people love it. It has the kids choir, gives it like a kinderische Geschmack.
Yeah, the Shevach choir with Yossi Glick, right?
Yep. So
Shmueli,
we're getting a lot of feedback.
What was that like, the Shasathon? Tell me. I mean, you're probably in Shiel. You get the cards all the time for people who need money or for this or for that. And you get asked to sing at a Shasathon. They're trying to finish Shas in one day. Not even one day, probably half a day if you just count the time they're learning. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I had no idea. I've always heard about the Shasathon and, people asking me to give money. And we're going to learn. I never really got the concept because also if you don't catch my attention within 30 seconds, I'm not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't participate in the learning, but I told Shmueli Rosen from the 8-time guy, I told him, next year, if you'll have me, maybe even if you won't have me as a singer, I want to participate in this. It's such a Kiddush Hashem. He rents out a hotel, a big hotel. They raised $3 million. Do you believe $2.8 million they raised?
Wow.
So they have a big budget. Yeah, they have a big budget.
Right.
Yeah, and they rent out a hotel, and all the loimdom get together and with a chavrisa, and everybody has like 10 dafim they have to learn, they have to finish. And throughout the day, like 4 or 5 o'clock, everybody is done with their 10 blocks, and you make a siyum, and you raise a lot of money for those families who are struggling to have children. And it's just it's more than just a job, more than just the organization. It's the whole vibe, everything together. It was something surreal.
Now I got to tell you, I didn't watch it. Can you tell me what the simcha was like? Because the people who are celebrating are the people who just spent the last couple of hours toiling away in Torah. What was the simcha like when you were singing over there?
I did the dancing, I did Ashraichem and Ashrei Misha Gudu Batoiru, and it was mamish, it was real excitement in the room. I do weddings all the time. At weddings, you expect excitement, you expect happy faces, you expect the mechitim to be in a good mood, and the family wearing the nicest dresses and everything, and
right.
the girls and the kala prepare special dances for tonight. So you expect happy faces, but sometimes you go in those different places to perform, and you don't know what to expect. And, David Melech says in Tehillim, Pekidai Hashem Yeshurem Asam Chaylayv. And it's mamish azoy. The people, they finished learning. They everybody in the room, they were wearing such pins. Like a pin said that I was the one who learned today. I'm not just a sponsor or asking, making sure everything runs nice. I actually learned. And it was real happiness spread across the room from all the angles. People were genuinely happy. We did a kumzit after the dancing, and people were participating.
Wow.
We did Lulay Seraksa from MBD. It was mamish aderhoy b'namatz. It was not tired.
Next year I got to check it out. Listener Chasidische Welt on Twitter says, tell Shmueli that Shalach is in the same style of Ani Hoylech on his last album. That's why I like it so much.
You like Ani Hoylech? You liked Ani Hoylech on the last album?
I did, but this is what the listener Chasidische Welt on Twitter is writing in.
Yeah, if you want to compare, if you have to compare, we can compare. Commotion is Baruch Havitena track 3. We can compare to Yeshuma.
Yeah.
Yes, we can do Oy Doy Yeshuma. It's also a rock. Anyway, but yes.
Listener LA musician from LA says, thank you for asking Shmueli to clarify the literature weddings are more freilich. I read the article and had the same question.
Yeah, all right. So now it's clear. I hope people are not going to be upset. They're going to think I'm bashing anybody.
Can't be upset with Shmueli Ungar.
Yeah.
Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone, all the way from Muncie, talking about his smash album, Machabrucha. Track 11. We're almost at the end, Shmueli. Track 11, Lekuvit Shabbos. Another gorgeous Pinky song.
Yep. This song, it took off. It's now that people and from the Hasidic crowd from whom I'm from are loving this song and eating it up every day at weddings. I'm getting videos of singers and the people in the crowd taking videos of Shia Berko, Sruli Vedig, Menachem Moshkowitz, even from Israel, Yoli Klein Adel Famas, everybody doing these songs. It's hard to me, before the album came out, we were having difficulties with the mix for this. We sent it to Ian Freiter, we sent it to Grossman in Israel, and Naftali wasn't happy, and he came into the studio one day, he says, I'm giving up. I think Lekuvit Shabbos Kodesh has to go.
Wow, really?
And then, he was, Naftali is an artist. He's always in his zone, and if he gets turned off, he just gets turned off. But then, we started speaking, we started talking about the album, we got his mood back. But at the time, I was saying, so difficult, all right, so maybe let's cut it out. And Heshi Vamiga was there, and Heshi said, no, come on, this is a song that, that completes the puzzle of the album. I look at the album as a complete 13 track.
Mm-hmm.
we need all 13 of them to make to have the color that it has. And he said, no, we got to keep Lakova Shabbos. Anyway, the point is, I was with Naftali. I was like, yeah, if it's too difficult, we got to be out by Chamashusa B'Shvat. If you think it's going to hold up production, maybe we just cut it loose. It's not easy. It's never easy to cut loose a song, but you get used to it.
Right.
I've listened to more than 500 songs. I've listened to when I started making my. You sent me a lot of songs. I listened to. How many songs did you send me?
Probably 30 or 40.
Exactly, and that's just from you. And all kinds of people come in and Naftali sends, and you go through so much, and then you narrow it down to 100 songs to 50 songs, and when it comes down to 20 to 15 tracks. Every track you have to cut loose, it's like cutting away a child.
You're right. That's exactly what it's like.
Because
you feel that these 15 were whittled away from hundreds, that these are the best you have to offer. And how can I take off one more of the best just to make sure it fits on the CD?
Exactly. Just so we know that we're coming out on time. It wasn't easy. But now that it's become such a hit, I'm thinking to myself, wow, how much Yata D'Shmai we had that we got over our frustration, and Naftali sat down again to it, and he mixed it, whatever, he did it the way he wanted to hear it. But it's a big hit, and I get a lot of maybe I can say it now on the show, everybody listening, I'm getting a lot of requests on Instagram and on emails, people reaching out, they want the playback, the recording of the karaoke. We're going to release it. The plan is to release it, our message here, our goal is to spread, but now it's too early. It's hard work to separate the vocals from the music, but we will, Amir Tashem, have the track Macha Brucha and Lekuvot Shabbos Kodesh and Amchi Yisru. We should have it by Pesach, all the camps calling for they have dances. But a lot of yeshivas and a lot of people called us for Purim. They want to make a song for Purim. A lot of requests for Lekuvot Shabbos Kodesh and Macha Brucha.
Wow, really?
From people who wanted to have the playback. Yeah, so it's Baruch Hashem. Like I said, we're so blessed, Yossi. We're so blessed.
Yeah, definitely. Shmueli Ungar with us via telephone talking about his latest album. So I'm reading this article. I'm reading how your father was nifter when you were younger, how your Zayda stepped in, and how attached you were to him, and how he was your partner in the beginning of the music, and how he gave you your partnership money by your chasna, your first chasna. You were so excited, and Nebuch, how you lost him. So, I'm learning how Shmueli understood that he needed to have professional music behind him the first time you were going to sing at that first wedding, correct? And now,
yeah, that's right.
And now I'm looking at track 12, and I see not only professional equipment and not only voice lessons, but now Shmueli's composing too.
I'm becoming a triple threat over here.
So tell me, how does one compose? Did you take up an instrument, or you just hum in the car while you're driving from gig to gig every night?
No, this song I composed for Shmueli too. I did it like 2 years ago. We were sitting in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a composer. I'm a vocalist. I sing. Even though the songs presented to me by various artists, no matter whom, I listen to it and I can tell them, maybe over here we do a little twist, we do over there a little twist, and it happens to go into the song. The composer still takes the credit, but I give it my flavor and I try to give it my feel. So we were sitting in the studio, and Naftali was like, let's jam around. And he asked me, what kind of words talk to you? It was Elo then. We were saying the Duvah Hashem Oiri
every day
after davening. And Yidl has a song Im Tachane.
Yeah.
Im Tachane. He was great. He's so great.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the bezoyus ani v'teich. I told Naftali, bezoyus ani v'teich, and this is what I believe in, and in the bashefer and everything. And we started jamming. He put on a specific beat on the piano, on the klidim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning Hebrew now, and he started singing. Yeah. Don't
that
say to my mother friends.
I'm going to call Menachem Tucker up and tell him you're ready to go full-fledged 1 hour interview in Hebrew.
Not just yet. But we were sitting down and we started composing. I got to give a lot of credit to Naftali. He helped me out. And I don't know how it got together. Like I said, we did it more than 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't go on to Shmueli 2, because a lot of songs don't go up in the last minute.
Well, it did go on Shmueli 2, just not the album titled Shmueli 2.
Right. That's correct. Yossi, maybe you also don't know. I try to explain that to people. I don't feel people still want to know why Shmueli 2, why Shmueli 2. Maybe Yossi also have this question. Besides of, like I said before, it's the hack and the buzz. People should ask questions. If it would have been called Yeshoma, people wouldn't think about it twice. All right, Yeshoma is acceptable, no questions.
Right.
No harm, no foul. But Shmueli 2, the real concept of what I had in mind is the name of the album is going to be called 2. And what happens now is that the previous album, Simcha Leiner 2, Yumi Lowy 2, Shlomi Toysik 2, when they released their album titled 2, it was their second album.
Right.
So when they gave it a name 2, it was like, this is my second album. It's 2 from the first one. It's the second one. By me, it wasn't the second one, although people thought that way because that's what we were told in the past, that 2 comes after 1. And if you thought, but the point of the name was, it's just the name 2. The name is 2. That's all.
It's funny because you guys had to put out a disclaimer by this album. If you're going to the store and asking for the second album, don't ask for Shmueli Ungar 2. Ask for Macha Brucha.
That's right. But I think when Shmueli 2 came out and people were having a little bit of this confusion, the people working at the desks, at the countertops, probably knew, no, this is his first album. Everybody's asking the same question. They knew.
Right.
So now when the people come in, they ask for Shmueli 2. They say, you want Shmueli 2 or you want his latest album?
Right.
Exactly. Stay.
We can make it up with 3 and call the third album 3 if you want.
Maybe we could. You know, you heard of CME, Chaim Earp?
100%. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes, who am I to ask you if you know everybody. You know everybody, literally.
But Shmueli, I just thought about it. We can name the third album Shmueli Ungar 3.2.
We could have done that now. Make it Shmueli 2.1.
You definitely could have.
But Hamad Erbs, he gave us the idea. He said, he wants to name his album CME 2. I love the idea. I told it to Naftali. Anyway, that's how it became. But then he told me the next album should be called Shmueli 1. But I should spell 1 W-O-N. But Sulime was very not into it. He said, enough with the joke, let's get real, people.
Yeah, he's right. And I see Shmueli did a lot of work because I saw pictures of Instagram. First of all, I saw this amazing event that you had for the production team. With the music going on and the cake and the Macha Brucha, Mashke Macha Brucha.
That was my wife.
I got to tell, I don't know who it was. If it was your wife, I give big props. That looked like an amazing event. So well branded with the album.
It was really, really something. She worked so hard for this because, my friends in the business usually work at night. And if she wants to throw a party for my friends,
it has to be during,
to make sure everybody...
It has to be during Sphera season if you want to throw a party.
You got to do it Sphera or on the 3 weeks when nobody's working. But she wanted to do it now. So until she found a date and she found the party planner and, and everything, she put in so much work into it. And it paid off. It was really, really, really nice with the projector and all the little props. There was a lot of thought went in.
Now, besides that,
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Mrs. Ungar. I enjoyed looking at the pictures. Here's to the next one. I did also notice pictures of, I think, placemats in pizza stores and brachas cards. What's up with the brachas cards, Shmueli? I didn't see any in Lakewood.
You didn't see any in Lakewood?
Then again, I didn't go looking for them either, so maybe that's why.
But I gotta talk to Sruli. He it was his idea. He was on top of it. It was for free, so it got spread out way faster than the actual album.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot of it's cards. It's bruchas cards. Each card has a different bruchas and different ideas and different pictures. And then there's the placemat. The same thing. They spread out in the restaurants, VIP, and all those Deli 52. Alle Gitterplätze where people eat with placemats.
Definitely.
It was all a part. It's all a part of the marketing. It's all a part of the buzz.
Shmueli did an amazing job. I got to give props to the Schnitzler team marketing.
Yes.
9 months ago, you released your first music video, your first official video, Yitin L'chosh, Shmueli, and I know it's doing very well. 128,000 hits on YouTube. When are we going to see something? When are we going to see something from Macha Brucha, my friend? Huh?
When we're going to see something from Macha Brucha, we were working. I went to Israel last week, and there was a plan. We're going to shoot a video of Amchu Yisrael. We should shoot a video over there. Shunov actually had a whole idea and plan Lamasa, it didn't work out because this is how it goes. Yossi, you probably know. You make plans and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, Michal Schnitzler said it best, right?
A Mensch tracht
Mensch tracht and Gott lacht. There you go.
That is right. You see, we keep on challenging each other. So far, it's 5 for 5.
Very good, Shmueli. Before we go, so you're supposed to shoot a music video in Israel. Didn't work out, but I guess you're going to try to still do something in the coming weeks.
We might go back to Israel and try to shoot it, but we're going to do something here in the States. We're going to do for Macha Brucha. Maybe it's a secret, but we're working on making a music video for Macha Brucha.
I know you just made a lot of people so happy that their Simchas Purim is going to be taken to another level tomorrow.
I just hope so because, this is the message and this is what we intend to do, to, bring positive vibes.
Right. Last track on the album, Amad Das. This is composed by Reb Shimshi Neiman. Newman or Neiman? It says Newman, but I think it's Neiman, right?
Yeah, he calls himself Neiman. So let me see, Yossi, another question. Which famous song did Neiman compose? You don't know?
I don't know offhand. Not right now. It's not striking me. I know the name is Neiman. I just don't remember what it is offhand. No.
It's from Shlomo Gertz.
Neshama Verbizdi. Okay, got it.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah,
he's from London. Shlomo said he's a very Erlich Chusid in London. Not really into the business.
Yeah. Yes. You can see on the album, I think it says Reb Shimshi Neiman.
It does, right? Yes, it does. And it says arranged by Hershey Ginsburg. So you mamish had the team. And it's funny that, I'm reading now Hershey Ginsburg. I didn't notice this. But in your article, you said when Hershey's Anaini came out, you were so connected to it as a bucher.
Yes. I heard it on the I don't know, maybe it's a competition for JE Network, but I heard it on Nachum Siegel on the JM and the AM.
Uh-huh.
And I listened to it and I loved it. It's, Racham was Pinky Weber's big hit, from Shweki.
Right.
And people were saying, no, he's trying with Anaini, he's trying the same idea. But I loved Anaini. I think Anaini was an amazing song.
I did too. The only problem with it, radio-wise, it's like 7 or 8 minutes long. In Israel, I don't know if Tucker told you this, in Israel they have like a limit in all the stations. If it's about 4.5 minutes long, that's their cutoff time. Any longer than that, they don't play
I know. When we knew about this problem by Yeshua came out as a single, and there's a chazunah, Yeshua,
and it goes into 5 minutes. That's right, it goes into 5 minutes.
Exactly. So he said, if you want me to play this on the air, I got to cut out the chazunas because I can't play around for so long. So the chazunas had to go for the radio.
So you got to have both Shimshi Neiman and Hershey Ginsburg, two talented people from the other side of the pond, do an amazing job on Lamont Das. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your full in-depth interview, song by song, with the one and only Shmueli Ungar. Shmueli, still so much to talk about. So I'm excited to see about, of course, your music video. You say that hopefully there'll be 2 in the mix. Anyways, you have a Telegram channel. Nitzler Studios has a Telegram channel. I guess anything you want to know, that's the first place to look for it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Shmueli Ungar, ladies and gentlemen. Shmueli, I want to wish you a Freilichen Purim, a Simchadik Purim.
Oh, mine. You too, Yossi. Also what you're doing is keeping up this radio and playing Jewish music. Before this interview, I tuned in. You sent me the link. I tuned in. You were playing the Schlagrang song. Right. I remember I grew up at Gershon Baroba, that's the same company.
No, they do sing sometimes together, but no, that was probably just Lenny Solomon doing Hamantashen. Yeah, Taka. Before that, you missed.
But my mother.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Your mother used to listen to JM and the AM every morning. I read in the article. So she
would listen to JM and the AM, and she would buy Schlagrock. She likes. I'm so sick of Rachem and the Shekel song and the dragon. Oops, the kosher dragon.
It's amazing.
Something like that. How does it go?
No, you're right.
Anyway, so no, so I was saying you're playing all this music and you have a lot of listeners tuning into you. So you're doing this heilige Arbeit. You're doing good work, and Hashem should pay you back. You should always have simcha and gezind and parnusa, bereivig, mit alle gute Sachen.
Umein Shmueli, and don't forget, first thing tonight when you get home from Megillah, Macha Brucha.
That's right. You got to be. Everybody's fasting out there. You got to make a brucha, maybe on a glaze of brown or on a coffee, whatever suits you.
There you go, Shmueli. Freilichen Purim. We're going to play you out with Amcha Yisrael because we're talking so much about it. Freilichen Purim, Shmueli. Take care.
Freilichen Purim, all the listeners. Yes,
oh mine, ladies and gentlemen, Shmueli Ungar. Here he is off his latest album, Macha Brucha, with Amcha Yisrael. And you, my friends, are tuned into the JE Network Zierport Live Purim Edition.
mi komoy kho mi komoy kho o mi ka am kho Israel oh am kho Israel mi komoy kho mi komoy kho o mi ka am kho Israel oh am kho Israel